When you hear the phrase power couple, what is the first thing that comes to mind? If you saw a image of a man and a woman in a relationship together that may be popular, maybe they're a celebrity, someone who is well known that everybody praises and adulates and aspires to be like, well, it's not surprising that that is what came to mind because power couples are absolutely couples and they can be couples that are heterosexual. But what you may not know is, or what you may have never really processed, is that lesbians are the new power couples. I will discuss that today in my video message. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. I provide my lesbian perspective. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the video, and follow me on my social media. My handle is at Giselle A. Wallace. And when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you're welcome to hit the join button and become a member of my channel membership, which is called the Premium Tribe. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and LGBTQ plus people are provided content and resources which are not made for the public. Thank you for joining the Premium Tribe, and thank you for subscribing and following me on social media. Lesbians are the new power couple. What is a power couple? A power couple, they can be famous, they can be popular, they can be celebrities, they can be wealthy. Yes, they absolutely can, but being a power couple doesn't necessarily mean you have to have all of those descriptions. Being a power couple simply means that you are a very healthy, loving, respectable relationship that is shared between two people. And lesbians are the new power couple. And I'm going to explain to you why. When people think about relationships, they may have a default thought process of being in a relationship as a man and a woman, a heterosexual relationship. But why is that? Well, the reason why they view heterosexual relationships as being the only category that can be called a power couple is because we live in a heteronormative society. And they believe that in order for you to have a very influential relationship, is the relationship has to consist of a woman being in a relationship with a man, especially if this man is considered or deemed to be very powerful. Power couple. They will call you a power couple because primarily there is a man in a relationship with a woman, and the man is successful in his own right. And this is why you mostly hear about power couples being celebrities. I remember hearing power couples. You remember back in the day when Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt used to be in a relationship. They were together for a very long time. They were considered a power couple. I remember when Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, when they first got married, they were considered a power couple. They were Whitney and Bobby. And many years later, we hearing about another power couple, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. And more recently, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Everybody is waiting for the next power couple. But, ladies and gentlemen, lesbians are the new power couple. I've mentioned here on my YouTube channel that there is going to be an influx of lesbians. And the reason why is because of the climate. The world is changing rapidly. No more are the days where women feel like they have to be in a relationship with a man in order to be considered viable. No more are the days where women feel like they have to make a choice between two options. Either they get married to a man or they stay single forever and become an old maid. The reason why is because women are now getting in tune with their feelings for women. They're paying attention to women more. They are realizing that being single or being in a relationship with a man are not the only options for them. They are at a point in their life when they want to live in their truth. And they see the potential as well as they know how rewarding it is for them to be with a woman. You see, in the past, before technology became so advanced, technology is ever changing, but we are facing a lot of changes right now, such as AI, which is artificial intelligence. We have the internet, we have social media, and everything can pretty much be found online. But before, I want to say 2007, we didn't have this much access to the online world. You had TV, you may had VHS or cable and magazines, or you may have been able to travel a little bit, but it was very difficult for you to know what was going on in the world in real time because we didn't have social media. The internet has been around since the early 1990s, but if you didn't have a lot of money, you really didn't even have access to the internet then. I remember my first time experiencing logging into the World Wide Web when I was in college. So you had to probably have money or you had to be at college or university to really get that kind of access. Especially if you were a black person or if you lived maybe in a neighborhood where it was not wealthy. You probably didn't have a computer. You didn't have access to the internet. And we're talking just like the 1990s, like not too long ago. So there's been quite a lot of changes in the world within the past 30 plus years. And we are now able to experience seeing people online through the internet, through social media, sharing their lives. And what do people do when they share their lives? They show you their relationships. And that can be a good thing, but you do have to use your own mind. You have to be able to know what is considered healthy or what is considered toxic when it comes to viewing people's relationships, because we do know people are not the best examples. However, when you do get the wonderful opportunity to see a relationship between two women who are online and it's a positive relationship, it will capture your attention. You want to know, what is their life like? Because you rarely see lesbian relationships. And many of us have never been around a lesbian couple, but that doesn't mean that lesbian couples do not exist that are healthy and positive and strong and beautiful. Relationships between women rarely get any attention unless, for example, a woman's sex life being exploited or men using women as sexual toys. And they have this idea that if a woman is in a relationship with a woman, then the relationship is not fulfilled unless a man is involved. So there's always this misconception that lesbian relationships really don't exist. But what the relationships consist of are a man and two or more women. So it becomes like this polyamorous relationship that is head by a male. That's probably what you know about lesbian relationships, but that's not even a lesbian relationship because a lesbian relationship does not involve a man, a biological man at all. A lesbian relationship is between two women or two biological females. That is why lesbian erasure exists in this world, because most people don't even know, or they've never seen or witnessed a relationship between two women. They only see what the media likes to portray, whether it's in movies or music or videos. You're always seeing a man with two women or more than two women who cater to a man. But that is not a lesbian relationship at all. And then you may have seen in real life where there are men who maybe they're popular or they're involved in some type of organized prostitution with women. And you think, oh, well, that's how it is when two women are together. False, wrong. But you know what? Women have been working behind the scenes. They have been doing the inner work. They have realized that all of the messaging about being a power couple belongs only between a man and a woman in a relationship together has been fabricated. Not only has it been fabricated, but it's also been very damaging. Lesbian women are overlooked because if you're not being sexualized, if you're not being taken advantage of as some man's sexual object, well, you're not important. But let me explain something to you. Lesbians are the new power couple. And here's why. We're living in very turbulent economic times. The labor market is very unstable. And I don't care what you hear about the president of the United States saying that since he's been in office, Donald Trump saying since he's been in office, things have been improving. Maybe for him or for the wealthy, but for everyone else, they've only seen hardship. And the government shutdown just ended, and I believe they just ended it only because of the holiday season of 2025. They want to make sure that you go out there and you spend your money so the economy can have a boost. But just understand that money will be going to the wealthy because they're already mentioning stores that they want you to go shop to, and they also advertise the places that they want you to go shop to because this belongs to the elite. This belongs to the wealthy. So if I were you, I'd be very careful about how I spend my money. And if you are lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, anywhere within the LGBTQ plus community, please absolutely support LGBTQ plus businesses. We need to support each other in order for us to have an economic boost. In order for us to have resources and information about us, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And the only time they want to celebrate LGBTQ plus businesses is usually during the Pride Month season, but they're not doing it because they genuinely support you. They're doing it only because they want your money. But after that, it's like they don't know you anymore. That's not genuine. And we saw that earlier this year when Donald Trump said he no longer wanted to recognize Pride Month as Pride Month. He changed it to Title IX Month. So there has been a lot of LGBTQ plus legislation that has made it more difficult for us. But I will say that I commend the Supreme Court of the United States of America for standing their ground and making sure that same-sex marriage will remain a constitutional law in the United States of America. November 10th, 2025, they decided not to hear a case to overturn gay marriage. So thank you again, the United States Supreme Court. However, we still have to be careful and, not get too relaxed, because you never know when someone will throw a monkey in the wrench. There's a lot of political unrest and relationships are suffering, especially the heterosexual relationships. They're really being hit because there's so many people who are being laid off. There's people who are being furloughed. Things are kind of shaky now in the labor market. And the power couples, they are usually pretty wealthy. But just because you're financially well off, it doesn't mean that you're emotionally or mentally well off. Many of these power couples who are heterosexual relationships, you start finding out things about them later on that you didn't know was happening, and it wasn't healthy. But just because they're heterosexual relationships, well, they still call them power couples. But I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, lesbians are the new power couple. Women are working behind the scenes to improve their lives and to meet women who are on their level or higher. Let me share with you something about my own personal experience as a lesbian. They say never, right? But I'm speaking about what I've experienced with dating women. I have never dated a lazy woman in my life. Never have. Every woman that I've ever dated, every woman that I've ever been in a serious relationship with, none of the women were lazy. These women, they were professional women. These women were educated. These women had their own money. And these women, they had a work ethic, a very strong work ethic. They always made things happen. Even if they were in some type of financial downtime, whatever that is, because life happens. You could get laid off at work. You could get terminated at work. You could get sick at work and can't work. Whatever it could be. It could be a plethora of reasons why you may experience financial hardship. It's out of your control. It actually impacts your finances negatively. These women weren't the kind of women who gave up. They weren't the kind of women who shifted blame, or they weren't the kind of women who ran and got in a relationship with someone to make sure someone took care of them. I've been in relationships with women, or I've dated women who were go-getters. They made things happen. What I have learned as a lesbian and being a woman, when it comes to you being in a relationship with women, because of a woman's nature, she's very observant, very particular, and sensitive to her surroundings. Women can be great decision makers, but you know, the patriarchal society we live in wants you to think that women really don't think for themselves, and that women are silly, and women rely on a man to make all of the major decisions. That, to a certain extent, is true when it comes to heterosexual relationships, because we live in a patriarchal society and men have tirelessly tried to put women at their footstool. Women were forced to be in harsh, really detrimental positions that kept them from being the powerful women that they are. And if a woman is not in a stable or safe condition or strong enough to handle such harsh circumstances, she can actually begin to lose her self-worth, her confidence, and she will think that being a woman is inferior and being a man is superior. So if a woman ever allows a man to make her feel like she is unable to make it on her own without a man, well, she usually will end up in those type of relationships with men who can be very controlling and manipulative and patriarchal. And so you'll have that kind of relationship dynamic where a man, he pretty much is overpowering a woman, and the woman thinks that that's the way it should be because, well, she's been oppressed and she has lost her self-worth, her self-respect, and her dignity. She has lost her honor of being a woman. But what I absolutely love about being a lesbian is, being a lesbian, we think very differently from most heterosexual women when it comes to how we live our lives. And we don't look at women as being less than. We don't look at women as being feeble or weak, or we don't look at women like they're needy or they're vulnerable and they need the help of a man. You see, that's the thing that's so backwards, because see, in heterosexual relationships, especially in the religious spaces, they say the woman is the helpmeet. But what's so crooked and backwards is patriarchy teaches that a man helps a woman. You understand that? You may have never heard that before. You heard it here first from Giselle Wallace. They will say that a woman is a helpmeet of a man, but what they push and how they oppress women is by brainwashing them to believe that a man helps a woman. And that's completely false. But I digress. But lesbians, we're really cut from a different cloth. We think like lesbians, and because we have a natural affinity for women, we look at women in a very positive light. And let me tell you something, being a woman requires for you to view yourself in a positive light. You have to really love yourself. You have to know your worth, your value. You have to know your influence, and you have to know your power. And when you know that about yourself, you're able to view women in the same light. And imagine you are a type of woman who aspires to be a better woman, and you're actually a really good woman already, but you're not the kind of woman who says, well, I'm done, I've done enough. You're always ever growing, and you are looking for that kind of woman. You're looking for a woman who is your match. You're looking for a woman who even challenges you to be a better woman. And when you meet this kind of woman, bingo, you instantly are a power couple. But let me stress something to you, ladies. If you identify as a lesbian woman, you are already powerful on your own. Being in a relationship with another woman does not make you powerful because you are powerful already. When you come together with the woman that you choose, that makes the two of you become one. And you're even more powerful together than you are apart. Because when you have a team, when you have a partnership, you work together to actually build a powerhouse. Your relationship is a powerhouse. You build your home together. You build your legacy together. You build your future together. You build your family together. And women who know who they are, women who love themselves, women who are living in their truth, women who are authentic, women who are using their gifts and talents to become the best version of themselves. When you already have that and you combine that with another woman, you are absolutely a power couple. Now, when I said that I have never dated or been in a relationship with a woman who was lazy, I am telling you the absolute truth. I've never been with a woman who expected me to take care of her. Never have. We worked together as a team. We were partners. And women, they just, they have a nurturing instinct. Women, they like to plan ahead. Women love to be around stability. They love structure. Women love freedom and to feel safe and comforted. Women love organization. These are qualities about myself. I'm a very organized person. I do not like clutter. And I know that being with a woman who is on top of her game, you're always going to make it happen. You're always going to make it work. Like, you're not going to be even lazy in your relationship with a woman. You're going to always work on your relationship, because here's the thing. Don't ever think that just because you are in a relationship with someone that you have to stop working on your relationship. You continue to grow your relationship. You continue to get to know each other. That never ends. That's what makes you a power couple. The reason why people's relationships fail is because they stop working on loving each other. Love is an action word. You have to be proactive about your love life. And I'll tell you, you might call me biased because I'm a lesbian, but it's not really me being biased. It's me really just paying attention to what's happening out here. I'm a lesbian. I've never had a boyfriend. Now, I probably went on a couple of dates with guys just because I'm confident to know who I am, and I just kind of like to experience life how I like to experience it. So I may have dated a couple of guys just to see what it was like to date a guy, but I didn't want to be in a relationship with a man. I knew that that was not for me. But even me being a lesbian, and when I did date a guy, this guy had to have his stuff together. He was working, he had his own place, he had his own car, he was a responsible, decent man. And I know that there's decent guys out there for women who are heterosexual, or if you are bisexual. I'm not against heterosexual relationships at all. I'm not against men at all, because a lot of people believe that lesbians are against men, but that's not true. I am a lesbian. I love women. There is a strong disparity between women who are responsible and who have their selves together compared to men, especially nowadays. And what I mean by that is, I've seen or met more women who have their stuff together as opposed to men. I've met women who have their own home, they have their own car, they have a great career, they make good money, they're business women. I've met more women like that in those positions, or women who out earn men, women who they were just the kind of women who did not lack. And if they were going through some type of hardship, like I say, they weren't the kind of women who gave up. They kept going. They didn't look for somebody to, you know, give them hand me outs or look at someone to take care of them. But I've met more men who are looking for a woman to take care of them. It's like they're flipping the roles. You have men who want women to take care of them. And then in the heterosexual spaces, you're seeing more women taking care of men. And that's completely backwards. That's not the way it's supposed to go at all. But that's what I'm noticing. There's a lot of men who are doing the bare minimum to make it in life. Many of these guys, they have a bunch of roommates because they would rather live with a bunch of people than to push themselves to earn enough income to support themselves. Especially if you are a single man, there's really no reason for you not to have the opportunity to go out there and make money and take care of yourself on your own. Now, if you have children, well, there's more financial responsibility that you have, but that should only be an incentive for you to go out there and get it. Go out there and make your money. Be more of a man who wants to be about his business. But I'm seeing less and less of that. You see more men who want a soft life. You're seeing men who have all of these people they're living with. They're living off of women. They're living off of a bunch of people as calling them roommates. You know, the roommate thing is old. It's played out. Really, the only time you should have a roommate is if you're in college, or if you just graduated from college and you're just trying to get your foot stable on the ground, you know, trying to find work, or you're trying to establish your own business. You may get a roommate then. I personally, the last time I had a roommate was when I was in college. I don't do roommates at all. Absolutely not. The only person that I absolutely want to live with is my wife. That's it. Because roommate situations really should not exist. Because when you do the roommate situation, you become very lax. You become too comfortable. You become dependent on other people. As a matter of fact, you become codependent. And that is very unhealthy. And if a woman is in a relationship with a man who's used to living with somebody, first of all, you got to think about this. This man just came from his mom's house if he's under the age of 18. Maybe if he's between the age of 18 to 21, he may still live with his mother. So he's still under the nest. He doesn't know what it's like to live on his own. He hasn't been through training in the real world, is what I'm trying to say. So imagine he hasn't pushed himself to go out there and live on his own. So he'll stay at home, or he'll go find him a girlfriend to live with. He'll intentionally go find a woman who already has a job, who has her own apartment, has a car, and he'll live off of her. Or he'll go find some of his homeboys and they'll do the roommate situation. It screams irresponsibility. And that's the thing, like being a lesbian, because I'm not emotionally or sexually interested in men. I see men for who they are. And like I say, I see more women who are more financially responsible. And I know there's women who love to spend money, who love to shop. There are women who can be irresponsible with their money. Of course, there are women like that. I'm not saying all women are responsible with their finances or with their lives, or they're responsible in relationships. But what I am saying is I have seen the majority of women be more responsible when it comes to their life, whether it's their finances, their careers, their own businesses, their relationships, their families. They have been improving themselves to be more reliable and dependable and responsible and more concerned and careful about their financial well-being as well as their relationship well-being compared to men. And when you are a lesbian and you have yourself together and you're always working on improving your life, you don't think about being with anyone who is not working on themselves. Seeing a person do the bare minimum when you know that they can do better is not attractive. And you absolutely will not waste your time on that kind of person. The only way you do that is if you are the type of person who wants to outdo another person because you want to be in a position where you can overpower them or make them feel less than. Well, that's a very abusive relationship. You are wanting to be the kind of woman who is with a woman who is your equal, because we are equals as women who love women. And when you join with another woman in a relationship, it is the most exhilarating, fascinating, successful relationship you will ever have. And when you have that opportunity, ladies, take absolute advantage in a good way. Take care of your relationship, nurture your relationship, love on your woman. Be committed, be faithful, be open, be loud about your love. You are a lesbian power couple. And it's beautiful when two women come together, because I don't know about you, but it's not attractive to me to think about being forced to be single forever when I don't have to. Because, ladies, you are the prize. And you don't have to be with a man to have a fulfilling life. You don't. There's so many women who are in these dead end relationships with men because they're doing everything. They're cooking, they're cleaning, they're having children, they're keeping their family together. They're having to be the life coach, the counselor, and the roles are reversed. It's like she has to take care of the man and provide for the man when he doesn't do much. It's ridiculous. And a man gets upset when his woman makes more money than him, but yet he still wants the woman to take care of him. Make it make sense. Well, that's what's going on out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is not a power couple. So, lesbians, you are the new power couple. Give yourselves a hand. Keep going. Keep loving. Keep shining. Keep being out. Keep being authentic. And just so you know, I have created a resource for you. And you can actually check out this video right here. Go ahead and click on that video and check it out, get more information, because you want to get the 10-step lesbian guide to coming out at work, because now is the perfect time in this turbulent economic crises that this world is going through right now. It is the perfect time for you to learn how to come out at work. And if you are at work and you're struggling with learning how to navigate the process of being a lesbian or a same-sex attracted woman coming out at work, you need to watch this video right here and get your guide. Thank you for listening. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share the video, and become a member of the Premium Tribe. And don't forget to order the 10-step lesbian guide to coming out at work. Thank you.